In this session, we will talk about the leader's role in team-based organizations. Here we will have discuss use of teams in organizations, team-based organizations, types of teams in team-based organizations, roles among the teams, team leadership versus the sole leadership, Robert Quinn's 8 leadership roles, leaders' role in team-based organizations, and as usual, the research paper, case study, and book recommendations. So, being a leader is not about you, it is about the people that are on your team and how you can help them be successful is there. A wonderful comment is there by Susan, and therefore, it is not that is the, you have got the leadership position about the team, right, but it is a highly concerned, that is the who are the people in your team and how can you make them the successful is there, and that is the in true sense is the leadership is there. So, it is a way of life in post-modern organizations. It offers the best opportunities for the better organizational performance in the form of increased productivity and profits is there. So, it is the always whenever we are talking about the modern organizations are there, and then therefore, in here the modern organizations, they are more team oriented organizations are there, and as usual, as soon as we say the team management, then it leads to the cooperation and synergy. For many organizations, the use of teams has led to the desirable performance improvements, such as the improved the quality, and the improved the efficiency, improved the employee satisfaction, and the customer satisfaction is there. So this is the importance about the formation of the team is there. For some organizations, however, the use of teams has resulted in some negative outcomes, such as the increased cost, stress, and lower group cohesions, right. So this is also very interesting. And first time we are talking about this particular content in this course, where the team will be the have the negative outcome. Yes. So, therefore, the use of team can be negative in the case if it is increasing the cost, right, or the people are not working in the team and they every day there is a conflict, there are the complaints and inquiries and all. So, that will be the stress, and the lower group cohesion is there. The people are not having the any cohesion amongst themselves. So, team based organizations emphasize the value and importance of all employees, regardless of their specific roles or the simplicity or complexity of the tasks that they perform. Now, in many organizations, certain tasks are the team-based tasks, certain tasks are the on the employee's individual task which he has to perform, means most of the tasks. So, in every organization there will be the tasks that will be having the those individual is to be done and in the team is to be done. But certain organizations are the more team based oriented organizations, and therefore, in that case when traditional organizations become the team based organizations, right. So, that is a culture shift. So, in modern organizations there is a need for this culture shift is there, from hierarchical to flat is there, and from the fragmentations to cohesion is there. So, it is not in isolation. The modern teams are not working more, the employees are independently working, rather than in the modern organizations more of the tasks are to be working together. This is from the independence to interdependence is there, from competition to cooperation, and from tried and the true to risk taking is there. Now, the nature of these organizations are having the certain advantages and disadvantages are there. So, therefore, when we are talking about the advantages is there is a synergy is there, cohesiveness will be there, and cohesion will be there amongst these members. Avoidance of the major errors are there, because the all are taking the collective decision, collective wisdom is used, and therefore the errors will be noticed by the somebody. If one miss the any particular point, then other will be notifying, and therefore the errors will be less. Faster, better decisions will be there. continuous improvement functioning will be there, innovation because new ideas will be there, all are the stakeholders in decision making process, self motivated, highly motivated is there, they are empowered and given the delegation also, greater job satisfaction is there amongst these team members, and the needs of fulfillment is there. So whatever there the physiological, safety, social needs are there, or the self esteem needs especially, and self actualization needs. So all these type of the needs are that they are getting the fulfillment is there. Disadvantages is there, that is the pressure to conform to group standard of performance and the conduct is there, and then therefore in that case it has been found that is the whenever we are going for this type of these team based organizations, right. So the people, those who are working, there the standard of performance and conduct that has to be confirmed. The resistance to the team effort from impinging on the autonomy is there, and therefore in that case the person who wants to do the work by himself, so his autonomy is now shared, right, and therefore in that case that may not be liked by the person, and that may be the disadvantage. Social loafing is there, and therefore in that case the many people are working with the one employee, the other employees are also present, so therefore there may be the chances of the social loafing is there. Group think is there, so therefore in that case in spite of the team the group think is there. Intergroup conflicts are there, and as a result of which they will not be able to perform, and the high pressure and stress is the very common disadvantage which has been observed into the team based organizations are there. So according to the Quinn and Bell in 1997 suggested 4 major types of organizational teams are there. Continuing work on units responsible for producing goods or providing services. Parallel teams are there pulled together from different work units or jobs to perform functions that the regular organization is not equipped to perform well. The project team is there, produce one-time outputs, and the one-time limited is there. Management teams are there, coordinate and provide the direction to subunits under their jurisdiction, and laterally integrating independent subunits across with the key business processes are there. Now here you see that is the work teams are very common phenomenon. So in continuing works is there, so therefore in that case this type of the teams have been found in most of the organizations. As far as the parallel teams are concerned, from different work units jobs to perform functions that the regular organization is not equipped to perform well, right. So therefore the traditional organizations, they may not be having this type of the more teams of the parallel teams are there, and project teams are there. So therefore in that case they are working for a particular focus target for a period of time, and therefore that will be the project team is there. Management teams are there across the key business processes are there. So here we find that is the whenever we are talking about the team role, the team leader. So the duties are the user's team to achieve goals, understand whole project, oversees process, guide without dominating. Team leaders, and supports team and the team members are there. So helping the team achieve productivity working relationship will be there. This will be the duties of the team leader has to be there. So ultimately what happens, that is the major point is this, that is the cross cultural is very important, because when the team leader nowadays is working, they are working into the overseas processes. And whenever we are talking about the overseas processes are there, then we have to work under different culture. Different practices will be there, and therefore in that case it becomes important that is we are aware, or we are able to understand and learn the culture of others. So in any team when they are working cross cultural teams, right, so then it will take certain time. So it will be duty of the team leader to get monitored and get mix the cross cultural team members. Guide without dominating is there. So therefore in that case it is he has to play a role of a guide. He has to guide how the job is to be done, and he has to also help team achieve productive working relationship is there. So at workplace there should be a productive working relationship is to be there. Team advisors are there, those who are having a champions a team within the organization and communicates with the stakeholders. The facilitator is there, the schedules and conducts the team meetings and the activities, serves as a resource person is there, and therefore they encourages the full participation is there. So here it is not the role of dominance, right, rather than it is a role of a guide, a role of a supporter, and role of a the facilitator is there, right. So therefore in that case it becomes very very important, that is the leaders, right, they are playing the different role very very efficiently. Now roles among the teams are there, team roles are there, processes observes the team members are there, and duties of the team members are will be the leaders and facilitator is promoting team culture, focus energy on the task and listen to everyone's ideas are there. Scribe or recorder keep written records of the team meetings are there, and then that will be using for the image sources purpose. A team leader is someone who oversees the functionalities of a team, and if not the manager himself, the team leader monitors the quantitative and qualitative achievements of the team and reports the results to a manager. A team leader's belief is that the whole is greater than sum of its parts. So team leaders place the considerable emphasis on the team building and then evaluates their own performance on the basis of how well they have developed the team is there. So that is becoming the team leader's role is there. Now effective team leaders must recognize that not everyone know how to be a team player. A very important point is there. Now you see many times organizations are giving you the team player, you are not choosing your own team player, and then working with the different personalities, it becomes the very important for the team leader, that is the who is who. But of the personality the person is having who is working with them, and therefore in that case it is very very important that is the the personality of your team member, and also have the understanding that everybody is not a team player, and then team leader has to get work done into a team. So team leader must display self-sacrificing behavior and confidence is there, because he has to prove himself as a leader, and the team members will when see that is their leader is doing the very sincerely hardworking and competent enough and punctual enough, right, then definitely in that case they will have that confidence, that is yes, we have to, if we are working in this team, we have to display all these self-sacrificing behavior. So employ multiply the influencing tactics to control and direct team members' action towards the achievement of organizational goals. So therefore multiple influencing tactics will be there, right. So for example the behavior conduct, for example the servant leadership style is there, for example this CSR is there, any social responsibility you are doing. So therefore in that case that is the multiple influence tactics will be used. Encourage norms that positively affect the team's goals and other those that are negative as there. So but you cannot keep happy everybody, so there will be certain team members those who will be negative, and therefore it is important, that is the we have to encourage the positive norms, so therefore that is affecting the team's goals and their members. Observe with a keen eye what is going on in the team. So whatever is going on the team, and then that is the immediately the leader should be able to find out, that is either it is everything is going well or not. Make contributions when necessary, and if it is required to make the contribution or direction, right. So then in that case the leader, that he has to intervene and provide whatever the support is required. Encourage a climate of dialogue, and therefore in that case always open for communication. Turn obstacles into opportunities. So naturally whenever there is a problem, challenge is there, then definitely it creates the opportunity to think how to overcome this problem and how to provide the new solution. Must be adaptive, knowing when to play different roles are there, and therefore whatever the different roles of the team leader is there, he should be able to play at the appropriate time, and we must be very adaptive. Now we will talk about the two types of the leader, solo leader versus the team leader is there. So therefore in that case, in the solo leader plays the unlimited roles, while the team leader choose to limit roles are there. So here it will be very different whenever you are playing this particular role, then that what the leader decides he can do in the solo leadership, but in the team leadership, no, there are the limiting the roles are there. Strives for the conformity is there, builds on the diversity, differently opinions. So therefore in that case also the it will be conformity versus diversity is there. Collected the acolytes, blind followers, right. So and while in this case it is the builds on the diversity is there, and therefore in that case it will be totally different approach will be there. Then the direct the subordinates, right. So here he develops the colleagues and the projects the objectives, right. Here he creates the vision and mission statements are there. So therefore in that case the role and responsibility of the solo leader vis-a-vis the team leader is totally different, and then they have to perform accordingly. Robert Quinn's roles of the leaders is there. So therefore in that case here we will find there are the 4 parameters are there. So clan cultures Quinn's model usually denotes team based organizations. Thus Quinn's model suggests mentor and facilitator role of leader in team based organization is there. So always there is a role of a leader is has to be there is a mentor and facilitator. Now here you will see that is the control hierarchy is there, that is do things right. And while in case of this compete is there, do things fast, in the create do things first, and the collaborate do things together is there. Now we will see in the case of this the external versus in focused block is there, and then short term performance will be there. So compete, market, do things fast. And here what is required is that is the we have to compete. While in case of this the flexible and external is there, then we are creating the advocacy is there, that is do things first, and that is the breakthrough is there. Whenever we are talking about the internal and flexible is there, right, then long term development is there, collaborate and we do things together is there. And as I mentioned about, that is the whenever it is the focused one is there, right, and the internal is there. So then in that case control hierarchy that will be working on this, right. So therefore do things together, do things first, do things fast, and do things right. So those this particular function of the leader, right, about the purpose, practice and people are concerned. So leader as work as a coordinator is there, and therefore that is the design the workflow leader, lead and manages the projects, drive effectiveness is there. Manage the information, monitor performance, measure quality, leader as a monitor. So he is having the managing the information and monitoring the performance is there. Whenever the leader is a facilitator is there, so he is a collaborator is there. Build and lead teams, manage the conflict and foster collaboration is there, and therefore it is because he is playing the role of a facilitator, here you will find that the output and efficiency is also much better. Leader as mentor is there, understanding the self, develop the coach and communicate the effectively, and therefore this will be for the long term development, and this will be very useful will be there. And so whenever we are having the leader as innovator, so he lead positive change, think creatively and cultivate the innovation is there, and therefore here he will be having this type of the always as an innovator he will work. And the nurture the relationships, negotiate agreements, and the present inspiring ideas are there. So therefore a leader as a broker is working here, and so what he does, that is he is working as a relationship. He is also working on the agreements, negotiate the agreements is there, and then also having the present inspiring their ideas are there, and therefore in that case he is creating the advocacy is there. Leader as a producer, that is a drive productivity and build a positive culture, manage time and stress is there, and short term performance is there, right. So therefore leader as a director is concerned, communicate the vision, get strategy goals and delegate the effectively, and therefore this is a short term performance will be there and he is completing that particular task. So ultimately what we can say is that is Robert Quinn's roles of leaders. They are having the different roles of the leaders are the coordinator, monitor, facilitator, mentor, innovator, broker, producer and director is there, and this is creating the compete, control, collaborate and create the advocacy is there. So these are the different roles and which will be played within the organization by the leader. So it is the trust in inspiring teamwork, coaching team members, group members towards higher level of performance, facilitating and supporting the team's decisions, the expanding the team's capabilities, creating a team identity is there, anticipating and influencing the change, inspiring the team towards high performance levels, right, and enabling and empowering the group members and encouraging the team members is there. So therefore this will be the leader's role will be there. Now we will talk about the certain more leaders role by the different various researchers. They have classified into the different the dimensions. The first one is that is a team leader as a chief motivator, and through the leader support, encouragement and training, followers feel a sense of self-worth, appreciation and value for their work. So because the leader is a chief motivator, so he is having the full support and encouragement, right, and giving the training to develop a sense of self-worth and appreciation and value for their work, and they respond with high performance is there. As this relationship mature, the entire work becomes more cohesive and the payoffs only increases there. So therefore in this case as a role of the chief motivator, the leader is able to motivate. The team leader as coach and mentor is concerned. The team based organizations need leaders who are good at coaching and mentoring followers, especially new team members. Like any good coach, they are experienced and knowledgeable in the team processes and is capable of developing the trust and teamwork norms in the team members are there. And this is the another important role of the leader as a chief motivator is there. So similarly the team leader is as a coach and mentor is also there. So here you will find that is they are very knowledgeable, and therefore the team processes are capable of developing trust because knowledge is developed among the team members. So and because of that trust, the teamwork norms in the team members are well adopted. The team leader as a role model is concerned, right. So a team leader must model the behavior that he or she wants to see in the team members. For instance, a leader's self-sacrificing behavior and display of the self-confidence to do influence team members, right, and therefore in that case it is the self-confidence is there and and the team members are making that particular influence. Self-sacrificing leaders are those who go above and beyond what is expected of them is there. So therefore in that case it is becoming the always how these sacrificing leaders are those who are going the above and beyond what is expected of them, and they do not just issue orders, they get involved in making things happen. So team leaders as a role model, right. So therefore in that case as sacrificing, as we have discussed in the previous slide, and then the hard working, and this is same is applicable in the family also. So whenever we see that is the head of the family, right, that is doing the very hard work and making the full efforts to run the family with the high enthusiasm and the physical labor and bearing the stress. So therefore in that case the same will be observed by the team members in the workplace also. That is, if the team leader is becoming the role model, then definitely in that case, so they will be having the self-sacrificing, who go above and beyond what is expected of them, you know, and they will not be demanding. They do not just orders, they get involved in making things happen because they know how the family is suffering. Similarly, the organization is suffering. The team leader is a team culture enforcer. The team leader plays a leading role in fostering a team culture, and that supports the team's goals and operational strategies are there. And there, here it becomes the very important as a what is the team culture is there. If the team culture is already there, so everybody is pushing for to create that culture. A team's culture specifies standards and values that govern team members' behavior is there, and therefore in that case these particular team members, they will be having that values and their team members' behavior. The leader may insist on team incentives over individual incentives to promote team performance, and therefore in that case the team leaders, right, so they may insist on the team incentives, right. So therefore in that case it is the not the individual incentives, rather than it is the incentives for the all. So all are working together, so that will be shared, and to promote the team performance, and that sharing of the team rewards, team incentives are there because the team has performed. So that will be shared by the team members, and that will promote the moral of these team, and as a result the output also. The team leader as a cheerleader is there, and therefore leaders with the strong social skills tend to have the greater influencing abilities, because they are having the as a team's leading cheerleaders, the leader inspires and motivates the team members, right, and to achieve the higher level of performance are there. So these cheerleaders will be always motivating, talking positive and encouraging these the team members, right. So that is the high level of performance will be there. And when a team leader can leverage his or her social skills to obtain the resources for the team, he or she is said to possess the social capital is there. A beautiful point is there. So that is the whenever you are working as a cheerleader, no, for your team members, right, and then as a, so naturally the social skills that will be emerge, and that you will obtain the resource for the team, and socialization process will start, and then the process the social capital, and as a result of which socialization process the social capital will be developed. The team leader as a resource person. The team leader's role is to be the resource person that recognizes team needs and attends to them in the timely fashion. It's a really a very practical and important point. That is your team members, and they want the certain the support from you. They want the certain resources from you, right? And therefore, if the leader can provide those resources, and every time normally what happens, that is these team members, they come to the team leader for the certain gain of the resources, so that they can work efficiently and they can deliver the output timely. So therefore, in that case, these capabilities enables him or her to address the areas of weaknesses, so the team can function more effectively and efficiently is there. So this is all about, that is the roles of the team members, and they by these different roles of the team members, team leaders and team members. I am sure that is your team effectiveness. Once the leader will understand what role he is having, the team members will understand what roles they are having, and all are having the roles of the working together. And whenever this type of these objectives are understood and practiced, right, in spite of the different personalities in team members, but team members are enough matured, may not be the all, but maybe the some of them, then definitely that team will work successfully. Now, on basis of this certain the literature, I would like to share with you what is existing. That is leading empowered teams, an examination of the role of the external team leaders and team coaches. This is the given in this paper. That is the how a leader can effectively empower his team is there, right. So whether this empowerment, right, is really good, and how the external team and the team coaches, they can play the role is there. Now, documents is as a multinational office equipment and technology firm. So these the customer service engineers worked in empowered teams and were responsible for planning, organizing, assigning and completing their work, as well as the making the meaningful financial and HR decisions. Team coaches consisted of the organizational development and change professionals who were experts on team development. Each coach supported and provided leadership to 15 to 20 teams is there. So, what is the study results findings of this study? The results of the study indicate that the coaches significantly influence team empowerment and thereby team processes and performance, whereas the external team leaders do not. So, this is very important, right? That is that coaches are playing the important role. However, the team processes and performance, whereas the external team does not, leaders do not, external team leaders do not, right? Internal they are providing. Findings also indicate that HR and organizational supports relate positively to the team empowerment, and that the effect of coaches on empowerment is beyond the effects of HR and organizational supports. So, team interdependence and the external team leaders that will be affecting. These are the research limitations. Why we have to read these limitations? So that we can understand in which conditions this is possible and this is not possible is there. And if we go for this particular concept, what are the practical implications are there, and then to focal the organization introduction of team coaches to have helped to propel the empowerment initiative forwarded. This is the case study as usual, that is the Frederick W. Smith FedEx case study is there, and this is talking about that is the how hierarchy and command and the team structure that is affecting the team performance is there. So, employers they introduced put couriers on the road 12 minutes earlier than before and half the number of packages they delivered late. So, this is the case study. On basis of this case study, these are the questions. What type of the team does FedEx use? Provide evidence from the case to support your answer. Describe the role of FedEx managers play in facilitating team effectiveness. What motivates the members of the FedEx to remain highly engaged in their teams? Leaders play a critical role in building effective teams, and discuss how FedEx managers perform some of their roles in developing effective teams are there. And this is the book recommendation, the 5 roles of leaderships, tools and best practices for personable and effective leader is there. So, in this book we find that is there are these explore the 5 roles of successful leaders, the charismatic and convincing communicator, and the always efficient and effective manager, the motivating team leader who knows how to delegate, the empathetic psychologist interacting consistently with each employee, and the skilled problem solver who manages the conflict and the implements changes there. So, right from the role of the communicator, efficient and effective manager, delegation, role of the delegation. I also have been the psychologist and a problem solver that will manage the conflict and implementation the changes there. So, by reading this book also you will, I am sure you will get the relevant important input. These are the references from where this literature has been taken, and you can go further in details for reading this particular literature is there. This is all about this session. Thank you.